SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold, and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm going to make a very quick video on altcoins and, you know, my overview of altcoins. Now there's two altcoins that I bought this year for the long term. Only two, Chainlink, and Algorand. They're the only two. And from the outset, I bought them on the capitulation low in the summer. And I said, look, they are buy, hold, stake coins here. They're old enough to take care of themselves. You know, they've got a mature chart. They've got a decent team. They've got a huge, a fundamental basis to why I think it's going to work out in the long run. And in the case of Algo, at least, there's some decent staking rewards there. But only those two did I buy for the long term. They are buy, hold, stake, hodl situations. Outside of that, normally what we would do when we trade altcoins would be to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, which gives us really decent swings. And the main one that we've had this year, the only real one that we had this year was this one. And again, we got it from the top, all here on the channel for thou to see. We got the exact low on altcoins and did a very serious rally. Some of the altcoins we bought did between 100 and 200% in spot, all based on this chart. And I love this chart, right? I've been trading this chart throughout the whole of the last bull market to try and get the major swings, because Bitcoin and altcoins, they have a rotation event. That's always been the case. Still the case now, but now that the market cap is, you know, swollen up to the size it is, you know, the whole thing generally trends as one, which is reasonable. But before, you know, the market cap of crypto overall was pretty small, really quite small. And so in order to make the most of it, especially if you're using large amounts of money, you do have to try and make the most of these rotations. And the rotation basically means going in, excuse me, into altcoins at significant areas of resistance, and into Bitcoin at significant areas of support. Into altcoins, into Bitcoin, altcoins, this was the ultimate one, and back into Bitcoin. So this whole bear market, we've been down in the dumps for ages for the Bitcoin dominance, which leads me to believe that this next bull market that comes around the corner is actually going to be really good for altcoins, and Bitcoin might even get flipped at the end of this next bull market. I know that's always been, you know, the talk of the town, where people talk about the flipping, it's going to happen. But you know, looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart now, you know, and how it's performed in this bear market, it would, I would say it builds a decent foundation to the fact that it could get flipped, not just by Ethereum, but maybe even BNB or some other major player that comes out as super successful, trendy and cool, because that's generally what we need to see. I have to keep checking my sound. My cable to my mic is a bit weird. So, with that in mind, let's have a think about what we've seen down here, at least anyway. Remember, support resistance represent usually just swings from Bitcoin to altcoins, but they can also give us an idea of when not to be in a position, especially for altcoins, because if we look at the last major lows on this, these often represent dumps in the market, right? It doesn't have to happen this way. It can be a pump in Bitcoin's market. Now, that's what happened in the past. So if we think about the when the bull market began, this is when Bitcoin really and the market actually really started to tear up in 2019. Really pushed up to a major high. And the Bitcoin dominance rallied. So the whole market rallied at this area, as did the Bitcoin dominance. But in a bear market, you know, these rallies on the Bitcoin dominance chart unfortunately represent carnage. So we'll have a look at these dates just to put them into perspective. So we've got the first one over here. This is a weekly chart we're looking at. It's just easier to do that. So a weekly chart of May 10th. So we'll go back to Bitcoin. What happens at that particular week? All right, it was this one, wasn't it? This one. Kapow! Kapow! Deadly week. So if that's what happened to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin came down to the tune of, what was this, in a couple of weeks period? Just a modest 50%. Just a little 50% wiped off the face of the earth in a 2-week period. We saw that obviously that's represented on the Bitcoin dominance chart moving up, which means that 50% for Bitcoin is nothing in comparison to what some of these altcoins had felt. Horrendous stuff. Now, they did sort of claw back some of those gains pretty nicely, and again, we will have taken advantage of that, as we were hitting as a resistance. So that's all fine. But oh god, we're back down to the 40% dominance again on September 6th. Let's have a look. What happened at September 6th? Where are we at September 6th? Oh god, not again. Kapow! Smash all the way back down again. A measly 25% wiped off the face of the earth again over the space of 14 days. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. So that basically means that we see this uptrend on the Bitcoin dominance chart, meaning that altcoins get extra wrecked. Don't worry, we'll claw it all back. We'll get it all back. We'll get it all back. What's happened around here? All right, so we dipped a little bit below the 40% dominance chart. What happened around these areas? So end of December into mid-January. Let's have a look at that. Those dates, shall we? Oh god, it's not looking good already, is it? Okay, so we got December, end of December specifically, wasn't it? Kapow! Oh dear. Right, well, you get the point, right? This is just over and over and over and over again that this seems to be the rhythm to the chart. We can go more and more and more and more. Every time we hit this 40% dominant zone, it's telling us, let's just be careful, all right? Let's just be careful, because it would appear that in this bear market, this seems to be a precursor to miniature bubble pops, isn't it? Really? So altcoin carnage, claw back all the way to the top, clawing back their gains, kapow! Okay, clawing back their gains, kapow! All right, alt season, clawing back their gains. Right, this is like a dangerous area, very very dangerous area. We're looking for a kapow, in my opinion, and we've been thinking about kapow for a little while just on Bitcoin's chart anyway. So if we're going to get kapow on Bitcoin, and we're at this level on the Bitcoin dominance chart, kapow is going to be pretty nasty for the majority of altcoins. Not all. Not all. There's always going to be some outliers. There always is. I'm amazed to see what YFII is doing. I cannot believe what it's doing. I used to love trading that. It used to be one of the best gainers of the bull market for me. Really good stuff. And then I kept one on the side, just to old time's sake. I like to do that sort of thing. Once I take all my profit, I always keep some of it for old time's sake. Just in case. Well, you're 95% out or whatever. 90% out. Anyway, I sold it for just over $500 when everything was like, I'll just get rid of it. Old time's sake, fair play. I'm not having any of this. Now look at it, it's bordering 3,000. Unbelievable. What a great beast recovery. However, don't trust it too much. But anyway, I've diverted from the point I'm trying to make here. We might be looking for further capitulation, or at least further downside, based on Bitcoin's chart and the previous capitulation over here. That's a fine capitulation, marked off by the biggest red on the volume indicator, but we still came down to the tune of 20% over the following weeks. We could be looking at something like that taking place right now. There's a big capitulation, marked off by a big volume profile. We talk about this all the time. We could still be looking to dribble some more losses on this one, or maybe even roll them out quite quickly in a further capitulation. And then you think about that with the Bitcoin dominance chart, and we're looking for a kapow event. It's not a place to be for altcoins. I know this is more or less mimicking the video I made yesterday, just trying to put it into a bit more perspective for you, because the main thing about TA trading charts is that we have different tools to, and it's all based around price, volume, and time. Previous history, historical data. And the historical data through this bear market tells us that 40% dominance is a dangerous period to be in altcoins, because whether Bitcoin rallies or Bitcoin dumps, the altcoins go kapow and get hit harder for the most part. And then the best thing about the Bitcoin dominance chart is it does tell us there is an indication of when to get back in on this, and because the dominance has been so low throughout the entire bear market, I was still pretty confident that the best place to be throughout the duration of the next bull market will be altcoins. Decent altcoins of significance, not these, this could make you 100x, those sort of things. Yeah, you can allocate maybe 1 or 2% of your portfolio to those sort of things, but I mean the real ones, the hardcore ones, the strong ones, the ones that have been around, the ones that are doing stuff, the ones that are being adopted, utilized, utility, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, So I think we're going to go kapow in a bit, to be honest with you, and that's all I'm making this video about. I'm showing you the historical data as to why I think that's going to happen. We've seen it on the chart, on the Bitcoin chart. We know that obviously a Bitcoin dump is going to be emphasized by altcoins, and we're at that area again now, and we're bordering the time cycle period of this 4-year cycle to fully end and a new one begin. So let's just be careful, all right, when it comes to buying altcoins. I know they look tasty and juicy, but you wouldn't pull a chicken out of the oven after once it starts to smell good. You'd want to make sure it's cooked all the way through before you pull it out and eat it. I don't quite think that this chicken is ready to eat when it comes to altcoins, not yet. We've set a timer and we will get an alert. We could start to scale in at this if you're really keen. About 43.9%, 44%. That's the first area of resistance on this dominance chart as we speak, and it might offer some decent returns in the short term and possibly the long term. The higher this dominance chart goes, the better it is for altcoins anyway. I would have loved to have seen the Bitcoin dominance move up into the 50s and 60s, and maybe one day it will do that again. But for the moment, this does represent overall opportunity long term on altcoins, but in the very short term, it's extremely risky. Anyway, it's probably nothing new to you, but if you found it useful, please let me know. I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.